Circus's finale is going to be the happiest thing on Earth, and promptly be sued by Disney.
Also, somehow, Fuzzy returned.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. So yeah, surprise guest returning from Fuzzy. Or not guest, host returning. Fuzzy.
Yes, I'm hoping to not become a guest on the channel I helped start. But
it would be a bit awkward.
Yeah, I should be much more willing and able to attend streams henceforth.
Yep.
So, not to toot my own horn, but how unhinged have your streams gotten since I've been gone?
Not at all, I think. I mean, we've got the typical sort of the thing that's sort of becoming almost a trademark of fucking starting with a random non sequitur.
Mostly Gen's doing.
Mostly
Look,
happens.
To be fair, I did try to set that trend.
Yeah,
I want my name on the credits at least.
It mostly happens, whatchamacallit, fucking, for D&D streams.
Yep. That it does.
Now, that aside, what else have you guys been up to in the topic direction?
A lot of the time we're talking about like Shonen Jump chapters whenever those come out on a given Sunday. So we haven't talked about the most recent ones yet because we've only really
spoiler reasons, yes, of course. Okay, I can work with this. But perhaps the most vital question is, why not gay frogs?
I mean, I'm watching Amphibia right now.
I believe those frogs are bisexual.
Depends on the frog, I think. I haven't gotten to that point in the series yet. I'm only about midway through season 2.
I did see that you'd gotten to
the Gravity Falls reference episode, yes.
Yeah.
It was so delightful.
Very funny.
How would you rate Amphibia thus far? Because I've heard Amphibia referred to as a sort of peer to Owl House.
I'd say it's a close quality. It is... Granted, it hasn't gotten to the point where it's doing all the crazy good shit that the Owl House was known for doing
Cancelled
yet.
For?
Yes. Fuck.
Now, speaking of Disney, who's looking forward to Knights of Guinevere?
Oh boy, oh boy. I enjoyed the pilot. It was very
that's
good.
like confirmed to be happening, right? That wasn't just a pilot to like test
Glitch,
the waters.
So yeah.
Look, you never know. Listen, as much as I love Glitch, we need to face the sad reality that there's it could go either way and be bought out by private equity at some point.
Damn it. Okay. That did not go well.
No,
well, at least you didn't beat it first time, Jack.
Huh.
What are you talking about? He hasn't even tried once yet. The next time's going to be the first try. On this channel, we always beat it on the first try. Don't just ignore anything that looks like a previous attempt.
Mm-hmm.
We have streams of frustration that say no to that one.
No, it just takes a long time to get your
actually.
first try done. It takes like at least a couple of hundred tries to get your first try done, but we do get it on the first try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, Amphibia's pretty good. I am enjoying my time with it quite a bit so far. It has gotten some surprisingly dark jokes in.
Well, okay, that's not as unusual. Dark isn't really what I'm thinking of when I'm, like, going in the...
No, that's fair. But,
things that get these shows canceled. Disney's been doing dark stuff for like years and years and years now.
Yes, I too am a fan of Gravity Falls. And also
I
DuckTales.
think,
And all...
yeah. From what I've heard, at the very least, because I have not watched Amphibia yet, and currently don't have the means to, because I, don't have Disney Plus right now, because fuck, I'm not watching anything on it, and I don't
I'm also
wanna
going
pay
to
for it.
hold my peace on this subject because you all know how I feel about this subject and
Yo ho
how I feel about how you
yo
feel.
ho ho ho.
But as far as I'm aware, it did actually get a proper ending compared to, Owl House that
I think Owl House still had
got
its
rushed.
ending. Its ending was just unfortunately rushed. Which is damn unfortunate because Owl House is one of the best things to come out of Disney in this century.
I have a somewhat controversial opinion.
Oh?
This is something that I've been like sort of mulling over for a long time now, but I think I've come to be under the impression that sometimes it's okay to not have an ending and go on forever.
You say that because you're a fan of One Piece like the rest of us.
Well,
Oh.
no, it's I should say there's probably a lot of like qualifiers here. The primary qualifier is that a certain level of quality needs to be kept, obviously. That's a given. But even more important as a qualifier is that it does not have to be the same creator or creative team as long as the vision is kept like relatively stable. And also it does not have to be the same characters. What I'm saying is we should allow for more spin-offs as long as they are faithful to the original vision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, sure, we don't have to follow, like, the Pines family in Gravity Falls, but I'm sure the Pines family is not the only interesting family. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that given the universe, Alex Hirsch is not the only person who could tell a good story. Obviously, using the example of Disney is not wise because it's Disney, but I think you understand my general point here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I understand where you're going for. I don't necessarily 100% agree because some stories just have endings as the feature.
So I think for me, I should not say story, but rather universe. Right? I think what frustrates me is this idea that once a story has ended, the universe, no matter how much of it exists outside of that story, is no longer accessible. And that's what I take issue with.
That's fair, I suppose. I mean, it does apply to some stories / universes more than others, obviously. Anything based off of mundane reality, I would, say, probably
No,
not.
obviously, but, I'm not... mundane reality isn't what I'm about anyway.
No.
Those stories don't even factor into my calculations. But, no, the best example, actually, that I can think of is when the Star Wars EU was at its best. Right? Like, obviously you get a lot of trash, but at the very least, the universe continues.
Yeah. I suppose
Before it's bought out by Disney and they decide that every story is about the Skywalkers.
Now, that's not completely fair. Some of them are about Mandalorians, too.
Who are related to the Skywalkers by Grogu.
I feel like... So, I don't agree with it being... it's only about the Skywalkers,
I'm
it's
being...
only about the Jedi, more.
Yeah, I'm being reductive for, reason of...
tomfoolery.
Yes, but you get what I mean, right? Like
Yes.
I like in principle the idea of like the way that Lovecraftian horror or the Star Wars EU is accessible on a broader level. To me, that is the ideal. Now, granted, it does result in a lot of trash, but it also results in some very good writing. And I think more things could benefit from that sort of arrangement.
Fuck.
I gotta be honest, I have no opinion about Star Wars.
Well, I can.
It's
No. Let's like turn it around
obliquely
into
on my
like,
radar.
is there a work of fiction where even though the story ended, there was a lot of stuff about the universe that you found interesting that never got picked back up
Well, there's a
because
lot
the story
of
was
those.
over?
Firstly, I read like the vast majority of fucking Shonen Jump manga.
Okay, so you okay,
before
right?
they're
I
safe.
forgot.
So
You
yes,
definitely no.
I totally understand the the point you're making, because yes, there are. I mean, just recently, a series called Alien Headbutt made it to a grand total of 16 chapters, despite being widely loved by the Western fan base.
You already know my opinion on your like. I still find it unthinkable that you still subject yourself to this
Oh, it's
level of
masochism.
torture.
It's masochism.
I'm glad you admit
quite
it.
frankly.
I have long stopped actually doing what Mill is doing here.
Because
I
it's
mean,
insane.
It's hilarious because I was going back through some past messages. I'm sure I've mentioned this to Jack before, but you know, it's funny to bring it up again. But I was going back through past messages, and back when fucking Phantom Seer got axed, and I was very much like, oh, I'm not gonna fucking read another Shonen Jump series until I know it's safe. And then, like, maybe a month later, I'm back to fucking reading Shonen Jump
you do have a
series.
history, yes.
This is
You have a
entirely on
history
you,
of not
Mill.
putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak.
To be fair, at this point, I'm a lot more sort of zen about the whole cancelling
Yes.
process. For the most part, there are still some series I'm gonna be like, oh man.
Mill, I don't think that's zen. I think that's like long-term trauma.
Either way, I was not as upset about Alien Headbutt as a lot of people were. There were a lot of people like genuinely like, what the fuck? How did this get axed? What the shit? Like,
They are not familiar with Shonen Jump.
I think they are. It is just a case of, you know, there's something to be said for still being shocked when a seemingly good series gets axed.
I mean, some get axed for really weird reasons. To be fair, or like we don't know the reasons for most of these.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you know, there is an element of, I mean, Alien Headbutt is the quickest axe since, I think, 2021. So 5 years. And that was the fucking, series where the dude, like, went back in time, or went forward in time and, like, stole a fucking popular series idea.
Oh yeah, that one. The plagiarism manga.
The plagiarism manga that a lot of people were like, this feels icky. I don't like this. I think that one got axed after 14 chapters.
You know what's funny? It's still bad, but in hindsight, at least he still plagiarized from a human.
Oh god.
Yeah.
We laugh so we don't cry. These situations. Oh boy, I am glad that at least a few of the corporations are finally losing enough money that they're pulling resources from that.
Honestly, I think a lot of people are also starting to understand. the people up in the corporate office are starting to understand, like, oh yeah, people hate this shit.
Well, okay, that's never really mattered to them. It's what matters to them is if people hate it enough. Because remember, no matter how many people
Let me
hate it,
rephrase. People hate this shit enough that they will not touch anything
yes,
associated
exactly.
with it.
That is the only thing that matters. Because remember, people are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And for every person that votes for with their wallet, there will be 10 to 15 more who will happily keep the engine of capitalism going without thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you should probably add, like, a couple adjectives in there.
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
I was thinking unthinkingly would be a good adjective there. I know, ironic. Is it weird that the first thing I think of when I say the word ironic is the fucking Palpatine meme?
I
Probably not.
mean, once again, did return somehow.
I feel like prequel memes are, like, going to be the longest lasting legacy of the prequels.
That's probably the best case scenario. Though sadly, I believe the longest lasting legacy of the prequels will be Disney, because I'm pretty sure there is a direct causal link between those two things, even if we don't know the exact sequence of events.
Can I just state my admiration for George Lucas for taking his bag and getting out while the going was good?
Honestly, I kind of respect it, yeah.
I do not have as much respect for George Lucas because he didn't just take the bag. He thoroughly ruined the product, then took the bag after leaving that as the guidepost to follow.
Ow.
So are you talking about the prequels or the EU?
Prequels more than the EU, because no, because like he explicitly ignored the EU. That's why the prequels were as bad as they were.
I'm not sure why he tried to run from that one, Jack.
I was... So, the black dash, the dash that lets me pass through things, that needs to recharge.
Ah. That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. I unfortunately cannot spam it. Yeah, see,
Anyway,
see that black collection of black particles that's collecting back? That's it recharging.
But, yes, I can see what you're saying, Fuzzy, but at the same time, you know, like I said, I admire him for... When I say going got good, I also mean more, you know, he got out before the absolute worst of fandom bullshit started.
Kind of. It was... I would not say it was better. I would say it was different and more easily ignored. It was more niche, certainly. But that's less to do with Star Wars and more to do with, you know, the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It still counts, in my mind.
Now, out of curiosity, has your new Zen mentality to cancellations spread to anything else? Fandom stuff?
I mean, in what sense? You know, I mostly stay out of fandom anyway.
Same.
Because I know it's fucking,
Hot nonsense, usually.
cesspit, yeah. I mean, I feel like I was zen about fandom bullshit before, I was zen about Shonen Jump stuff, because my attitude on social media has always been, if it feels like it's just, you know, hating for the sake of hating, I'm just gonna fucking block and move on. Especially if more often than not when I, look at the person who's fucking making the post and they turn out to be a bigot.
Is
So
incredibly
many
common.
times that happens. So many times that happens.
It's almost like there's a causal relationship between awful takes and being a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
Nope.
So what else? What have you guys been doing? I know Jack's been
Fuck.
on the amphibia train. What have you been doing for leisure consumption recently, Mill? Shown it like the jump manga masochism aside.
That's only on Sundays. I mean, again, I've chatted about this with Jack, but I've been listening to quite a few history podcasts recently. Started by one of my old lecturers, in fact, my favorite lecturer for my undergrad, starting one. And then me branching out for, some of his guests that have also got podcasts.
It's a real wiki walk type thing.
Mm-hmm. But, it's just interesting to get back into the history sphere. Considering it was, such a huge part of my life for at least 3 years.
Mm-hmm. You did
I
also
have no
ask me
idea
for
what that could be like, given my own upcoming event in that regard.
Mm.
But yes, so are you able to just listen to podcasts, or like me,
No,
are you?
this is me doing it while I'm driving.
Oh,
yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
like,
usually doing something else while I listen to a podcast as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just
if I'm listening to a podcast, I'm either driving, it's either while I'm like doing something like cleaning or making food, or like while I'm playing a game of some sort. Because otherwise, I just
driving,
My atta-
shopping,
I need to
doing
be-
chores, anything along
yeah,
those lines.
I also cannot like. I'm starting to wonder how much of this is ADHD and how much of it is just that we grew up in a particularly disadvantageous generation for that sort of thing.
Porque no los dos.
Well, yes, of course, but I want to know the specific breakdown. But yeah, I can't bring myself to just listen to something.
My instinct is that it's more about the ADHD because it feels like I can't sit still and focus on something.
Mm.
Like,
oh yeah, same here. I don't necessarily have to
be
be doing something else that I'm focusing on. I can just be like walking around.
Ow.
I mean, yeah, when I'm walking somewhere on my own, I'll be, listening to a podcast or music. Though that one is, less of a necessity and more just, I want to. And it means, I might not get accosted by a random person.
That as well, yeah.
Does that happen to you guys?
Not often.
No.
But
People
I have had the one occasion that I absolutely remember is when I got stopped on the street by a religion peddling dude.
Those are annoying.
And I tried to throw him off by saying I was I followed Shinto, which didn't work because he just got curious about what it was, and at that point I wasn't sure myself. So
No. So the answer to that is to always use one of the more common ones. You should have just said you're Mormon.
Or Buddhist, if you want to be more
I can't do that in good faith.
Well, that's the point. is that it is in bad faith.
Respond in kind, after all.
Mm.
For legal
But-
reasons, we respect all faiths and creeds here. Look, I have to worry about that stuff a lot more nowadays.
People can follow whatever religion they want, just don't try and force it down my throat.
Yeah, that's my thing. If you're following a religion and you're respecting other people and their faiths, that's fine. I have no beef with
That's what I meant. That's the reasonable interpretation of that statement. Though I can understand why reasonable is not exactly something people are familiar with.
you. Reasonable? What's that mean?
Well, of course you wouldn't know. You're American.
Huh? Fucking
Ah.
right. Just like Mill can't look at a piece of land without wanting to colonize it due to his British instincts.
It's in my genes.
Is it? I thought it was introduced through subliminal messaging indoctrination as babies.
Ow.
The more you know.
Bit above. Also, I can't help but whenever I think about subliminal, I can't help but think about the fucking Simpsons episode about the Navy doing subliminal messaging through a fucking boy band with a bunch of the kids. And the fact there was like, so we have subliminal messaging, then we have liminal messaging, which is, you know, the typical join the Navy things, and then there's superliminal. What's superliminal? Just sticks his head out the window. Hey you, join the Navy! Yeah, sure, why not? That's superliminal.
Which definitely works.
Yeah.
Almost as well as me just running into those fucking attacks for no fucking reason.
You know, it's not for no reason. It's because you're not good enough to dodge them.
Well, when you get into a pattern of attack, it kind of fucks you over sometimes. If like the combo of moves that the boss uses get switched up in any way. So if they're like alternating or doing like 2-2-1 or anything like that, or doing 1-1-2 or anything like that, then like
I mean, with games like this, it's all about trying to get into the rhythm of the fight. And
yeah, sometimes they throw
Hollow Knight
something
is
out that jukes.
yeah.
You get juked by bosses a lot.
So
Yeah.
I don't have much personal experience, but I have heard that the best thing to do in this scenario is get good. Have you tried that, Jack?
Yes, actually, I have. I've beaten this boss before, believe it or not. This is my second run through the game.
See that I have been through that experience, but it always does sting
Yeah.
when it's a boss you know you've beaten and can beat, and you still don't beat it.
Yeah. The problem is
Been there,
part of
done
the
that.
problem.
Not a fan.
Part of the problem is that a few upgrades are locked behind this fucker, so like, I can't get to the full loadout that I need. /want to actually take on the final boss without going through this bastard first.
There's also a matter of being used to having the full loadout and suddenly being, you know,
Yeah.
a lot weaker than you're used to, which is, you know, what has happened to me with fucking Hades, while we've been playing it.
It's a common roguelike problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever you do a new game on a roguelike of any kind.
Speaking of which, I'm developing one of those.
Ooh, neat.
I completely forgot to release the playtest on the server, didn't I?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I had a playtest, guys. I have one. In fact, I'll probably
Nice.
make an announcement and do an @everyone ping later today.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to do an @everyone ping, right? Especially if it's something like
I think you have permissions.
as major as like game devs. And I wasn't asking about the permissions. I was more asking about like the etiquette.
sure it'll
Go
be
for
fine.
it.
Fuck. I hate this attack.
So, see, you know that I'm out of practice because I can't even think of
Oh!
something unhinged to say.
Yes, finally!
Wow.
Jack,
Okay,
I
fine.
don't think you can count that as you beating the boss.
No,
I
this
think
is-
your friend beat
This
the
is
boss.
scripted. This is scripted. This is how the
Oh.
boss fight ends. Once you
Fair
get
enough.
the boss down to a low enough health, then yeah.
They take each other out.
Yeah, exactly.
Moment of silence for our baggy friend.
Rip Cloth, you're a real one.
We had the moment of silence as you were trying to stab him, which is
Well,
a little,
no, I was trying to use the dream nail to see her ghost.
No.
So, Hollow Knight, right?
Yeah.
They're bugs.
Yep.
That does not stop people.
Nope,
I'm not
at all.
shocked.
Are you not aware? Granted, Silk Song was very much more popular in that regard, but like
I'm not shocked.
people have been thirsting over Hornet since OG Hollow Knight. Yes.
I feel like we need to do that fucking game where you try and guess which character has more Rule 34 entries.
Oh god,
Oh,
we
I
should
would-
do that.
Probably, if we did it competitively, I would destroy you both. But if we did it cooperatively, we would probably do quite well.
Probably.
We should just in general do the dulls occasionally. When I get back into the swing of things, I'll probably like just occasionally do the dulls on like solo.
The white fragments.
Those?
So like all of those daily games like Wordle and such.
Oh. That reminds me, I did a few entries in a fucking movie-based one of Wordle.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty fun.
It's definitely one of those things where if you are doing it for something you're genuinely interested in, it is very easy to just let the autism breathe, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I've seen like
Yeah.
I've seen a Cosmere version and an FGO version, so yeah.
The issue is, I typically do it on my phone, and because I've done more of these games, I do them on my phone, and they quickly get lost in the tabs.
I will refrain from commenting on your tab history because on your tab habits because I'm sure you are well aware of the issue.
It would be hypocritical of you to judge.
No, actually, I've managed to somehow
There you are. How are
cure
you?
myself by redirecting my problematic energy into other problematic habits. I no longer have a mountain of tabs open 24/7.
I don't know what that feels like.
Neither do I.
I do other unhealthy things. Don't worry, it's fine. But like I don't do that
Congratulations,
specific
I guess.
unhealthy thing anymore.
So I know there's a grub over in this area. How do I get to it?
Speaking of grubs, I still have yet to try insect protein, but I think I've realized I don't want to eat bugs. But if they don't look like bugs, they don't bother me as much.
So you're just gonna do a fucking Snowpiercer then?
Well, like cricket flower, right? That's just a thing.
True.
I don't know. I guess I'm just like at least curious. I'd like to try it once.
No, fair. I've been in a similar boat before.
No shame in being curious about the Soylent bug.
Okay, that's
I mean,
an
of
entirely
course.
different thing, though.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious about that too. But I think that one is a more for legal reasons that I'm referring to something completely innocuous and not at all concerning to be curious about.
I'll be honest, like, it's one of those things that I don't think is really possible to, in most situations, have an ethical way to consume.
Though, given the progress in stuff like lab-grown meats, that is not necessarily going to stay the same forever. I mean, would you try it if it was lab-grown and, like, not purged of the mad cow prions?
Maybe.
Mel?
Probably
You say
not.
not purged of the mad cow prions?
No, yes, definitely purged.
Okay, that was what was throwing me off. Was like, you want the mad cow prions? You know about prion disease, right? It's real bad.
No, yes, that's why I specified definitely get rid of the prions first. Lab grown, taken from a consenting donor, no prions.
I don't think I could do it like consciously or knowingly, I should say.
Would you take it in a pie?
Maybe.
Manderly
I
style.
don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know, man.
See,
It's
that
not
is
something I've thought about
genuinely
that much.
interesting to me, because,
Fuck.
like, is it just the mental block of the species it comes from, or just, like, is there something deeper?
Porque no los dos.
I mean, I'm, fucking, got that, autism food pickiness, so, mental block is definitely a large part of it.
See, I'm glad I didn't roll that particular debuff during character
It's not
creation.
fun. It's not fun.
Like, don't get me wrong, I've rolled a lot of debuffs. That one, I'm glad I don't have to worry about. It gives me a lot more options.
It's not ideal to have that one, no.
I mean, at least you didn't get the one that the serial killer debuff.
Which one's that, specifically?
The one that makes you want to kill people.
Ah, yes. How could I forget?
I've got to ask, Jack, what did you think it was?
I don't know, one that fucks up your ability to feel empathy. Not one that specifically drives you to murderousness.
See, that's the thing. The empathy one doesn't necessarily drive you to murder, but it just drives direct murder, rather. Becoming a Fortune 500 CEO, though, haha, that probably helps a lot with that particular.
Yeah, studies show that having too much money actually does rot your ability to feel empathy. Funny enough.
But, like, also, not having empathy helps a lot with acquiring too much money.
It's kind of a terrible feedback loop, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I blame capitalism.
At this point, I feel that the blame is implied.
I know, it's a shocking hot take. In other news, water is wet.
See, I almost wonder if that's a more controversial statement.
Yes, I know. Water isn't technically wet. Water makes things wet. Sue me.
I can't yet.
There we go. Ha! Not today, fuckers. Fuck you.
So, how's climate change been treating the Canadians, Fuzzy?
Well, we have had alternating days of very cold and very hot for the past 6 months. Like, we had an excessively warm winter and an excessively cold spring, which is definitely not deeply concerning about the future of the world at all.
Do I need to get any more grubs? That is all of them. I have finally collected the last of the grubs. Now to report to the grub father and give him, and see what I get as a reward for all my hard work.
Wait a second. If that's the grub father, where's the grub mother?
Don't know.
Or is this more Jabba the Hutt style?
I think I could not
Died in
tell
a
you.
gazelle stampede.
That would do it. Speaking of dead deer, do
Okay.
either of you remember Bambi?
I
Like
do
the-
remember Bambi.
No. I mean, like the actually what happens in the movie Bambi.
Yes.
Because I literally do not remember anything except for the traumatic father dying scene.
Even mother dying.
Parent dying, you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, funny enough, the moment you mentioned deer, I was like, is he leading this over to Bambi?
Of course, it traumatized entire generations of children.
Most Disney movies have. I mean, the one that traumatized me as a kid was Lion King because of Mufasa.
What's funny is I watched Bambi at a younger age than Lion King. I think the reason Lion King didn't traumatize me as much is because I had already learned to distinguish reality and fiction at that point. Was not the case with Bambi. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't think I got hit by the likes of Bambi and Lion King. I mean, I wasn't, as I've said before, I wasn't a huge Disney kid.
Oh yes, this is really cool.
What would you say was
capitalist
your
lie.
primary traumatizing thing?
Doctor Who.
Nailmaster's Glory, I got a new
Specifically-
charm. Hell yeah.
Specifically, the Eccleston two-parter with the kid in the gas mask.
Oh god, that one, yeah.
That terrified me as a kid.
You know, I don't think I've watched any Eccleston.
Eccleston's
You
only
should.
one
Eccleston
season.
Eccleston is a fantastic doctor, and it is a shame that bad things happened behind the scenes, and Eccleston did not want to come back, understandably.
Ugh.
It's very unfortunate, but it is how it goes sometimes.
Wait, so you're saying that people in charge of major syndicated television production are not necessarily great people?
We have ample evidence that the folks at the BBC are pretty bastardy. Are you familiar with it? Actually, you can talk about the elephant in the room if you want, Mill.
Sorry. having a piece of chocolate.
Also, isn't this another one of those? Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down situations?
A little bit, yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of elephants in a lot of rooms.
The biggest, most touchy one, let's say.
Oh, you mean Savile?
Yeah.
Thankfully, before my time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, spill the tea.
I mean, Jimmy Savile isn't now a notorious pedophile.
Oh, Jimmy.
who's
Okay,
BBC.
I thought it might have been a different Savile.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
It's that Savile.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that Savile.
Grummerfly's Elegy. I love the name of that one.
I wish I was not familiar with that particular Savile, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
In the very, 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 very slightest defense of the BBC, it was the style at the time.
What, the jokes and all that?
No, the defending pedophiles.
Only at the time? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's never gone out of style.
There's a point about that to be made as well, but you know.
It's another one of those things where we laugh so we don't cry.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, the BBC now is a corrupt, moribund organization that is not particularly fit for purpose, and it's full of, you know, right-wing cocks.
Dipshits, yes, we know.
Once again, now?
Yes, I would argue that it was better in the past. It is a lot worse now, because, you know, the right wing has grabbed the media in much more of a stranglehold than it previously has done.
I do not disbelieve you. I'm just like...
Look, the right wing has always been, you know, more prevalent in the media spheres because they're the ones with the money. But, you know, in the past, I feel like we have at least had, you know, companies that have been slightly more progressive that aren't, you know, just indie companies. We've had bigger, you know, progressive companies, and those have now gone away, and it is just the indies that are carrying that banner.
Yeah. I can understand that. Like, it's definitely a mixed bag either way, but it's less so regarding the whole, you know.
You want to talk about something less depressing?
Yes,
I would love to,
got
please, for the love of God.
I've got something that I find quite funny.
Okay,
so you know how Tom Holland is, you know, obviously in the new Spider-Man, but also in the Odyssey, and they filmed around the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, where is this going?
Apparently Tom Holland would fairly often call from the set of the Odyssey the Spider-Man producers going, guys, I'm seeing how films are actually made here, and you've got to fucking step it up.
Amazing.
You've got to know why you're making this movie beyond making another fucking Spider-Man movie. Come on.
I mean, how true do you think that is, though?
I'm not putting it past them, let's say.
I mean, what do you mean? Do you mean, like, that the Spider-Man producers don't know what the fuck they're doing in making the movie, or that
No, Tom Holland actually did that.
I think Tom Holland actually did that. I'm willing to believe him.
I don't think I give any celebrities the benefit of the doubt anymore.
I mean, fair, but at the same time, like, Tom Holland's one of the few, like, who could feasibly get away with pulling that shit.
True,
considering Tom Holland has actually now said that his whole, oh, I don't want to be Spider-Man when I'm, like, past 30 or something like that, was just him trying to get a fucking pay rise. I think it's possible he's done that. I think it's distinctly possible.
Yeah, it's just like everyone was a pretty like thought Chalamet was pretty cool for a while too, and then the mask came off, so I'm kind of just like,
I can understand being wary.
yeah,
But I feel like Holland has been overall a more positive person and influence than Chalamet ever was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something to be said about the institution of celebrity in general.
Mm.
It's
I mean, look,
not.
there are absolutely celebrities that sort of eventually buy into their own hype. For the time being, it doesn't look like Holland is doing that. You know, he seems to have a decent enough head on his shoulder and have a decent enough, collection of people around him. Similar to, similar to Daniel Radcliffe, for example. Who has managed to escape the worst of the child star bullshittery.
Honestly,
It was
I'm
very
impressed
much
how
a-
much of the cast of Harry Potter did.
Yeah,
And is now enjoying doing whatever random bullshit takes his fancy.
it's like the Radcliffe is very much a something of he's something of the child star Georg of the situation.
Mm.
Yes, unfortunately, not everyone can get as lucky as the Harry Potter kids did. Just take a look at Jake Lloyd or Macaulay Culkin.
Mm-hmm.
Culkin at least managed to pull it back. As far as I know, Jake Lloyd also somewhat managed to pull it back, though, like with less active roles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not really as big of as he used to be, which is honestly good in my opinion.
So, like, you know how a lot of the evidence seems to suggest that the gay penguins are more doing it prison rules style?
Okay, I was still on the sort of celebrity thing, and this has thrown me.
This is a hard pivot, yeah.
That this is my job, yes. It's what I do. Um so like how much are you aware of the gay penguin situation?
That they exist,
Oh,
or just
massively.
Well, so gay penguins are very much seem to be an example of situational sexuality like prison sexual fluidity. Because a lot of gay penguins will in fact engage in long-term relationships with female penguins when separated from each other. But I wonder how much of that is the situational element and how much of that is is actually the opposite. There has never, as far as I can tell, been a test that studies whether or not it is the penguins being in straight couples that is situational and gay is the default state for those specific penguins.
it's an interesting hypothesis for sure.
Right? Because, like, they always do it only one way. They never, like, reverse the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Which just seems like an oversight to me.
It may be ignorance, it may be just a case of, yeah, internal biases informing how they handle these things.
Internalized heteronormativity? Really?
Well, not on the penguin's part, but
Obviously not on the penguin's part.
yeah.
Those are damn heteronormative penguins.
Well, okay,
Okay, now I'm
partially
just
on the penguin's part,
divisioning.
considering the fact that they do go back into heteronormative couples afterwards, after they're separated from their gay lovers.
So, have either of you watched the Don Bluth movie, The Pebble and the Penguin?
No.
I believe
Now I'm
is it
worried.
if it's based on a true story, then I probably am familiar with the source material.
Well, no. So you know who Don Bluth is, right?
I believe so. Yes.
He's a Land Before Time guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of traumatizing parent deaths in
Oh yeah. No,
childhood,
Littlefoot's mom dying. Yeah. That one is that was rough.
I hope to traumatize children with my own children's book one day.
Perhaps eventually you'll get the chance.
I mean, I've semi-traumatized some adults with my children's book so far, so here's open.
Fuck these motherfuckers. Nope. Shit. Okay, yeah. Hell yeah.
Have you guys been on the writing front, actually?
I have gone very little done in terms of actual writing. I've gone a little bit done in terms of like character writing and world building, stuff like that, you know, where I'm like, you know, making character profiles and developing my world building shit. But oh fuck these things.
I'm still moving forward steadily. Near to the
Nope.
climax.
I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna need to like actually start putting some dedicated time into working on my writing, but I'm also reaching a point where I am somewhat capable of doing so. That's something at least. I'm still gonna be busy, but like it's not going to be the sort of crushing busyness that I've had in the last couple of months.
Mm.
And at least some of it will be for myself. So, you know, there's that. Oh, did I tell you about how I accidentally OD'd on ADHD medication?
No,
No.
you didn't.
Okay. Yeah, because I think it was during my hiatus. So, I had an overdue assignment, as always.
As one
I
does.
still have yet to ever submit an assignment on time. So, so I've got these ADHD boosters. They're basically a short-acting variant of my long-acting one. And I'm already on the maximum dose for my ADHD meds, more or less. So the boosters are technically an overdose baked in. So I'm sure you see where this is going. I really needed to get the assignment done, and I was finding it impossible to properly focus, so I may have popped more than the amount of boosters than I was allowed to.
You should have just done what I did in my final year of uni for one assignment in particular, which is whenever I felt myself losing focus, I put more bacon in the microwave, cooked and ate it while I kept working.
So I do not have that level of natural capacity, sadly. Like it does feel like I've got like the ADHD baked into a degree that I cannot seem to affect on a deeper level at the
To
best
be
of
fair,
times.
this was probably before my ADHD got really bad. I mean, that was at the time when I was still keeping up with seasonal anime on the regular.
You have my deepest condolences.
I have committed blasphemy. Yes.
But yeah, so it wasn't really that meaningful in the moment, you know, except for the mild chest pains. But who cares about some mild chest pains after you've taken a bunch of stimulant medication? Am I right, folks?
Oh boy.
But no, what I really felt it for the entirety of the subsequent week.
So,
as it turns out.
I have fought all but one of these bosses. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
as it
yeah.
turns out, you don't necessarily feel it in the moment, but it will not. It will make its presence known in the subsequent period of time.
Yeah, I imagine you probably strained your heart.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about the physical effects. It has some like especially it has some major effects on stuff like irritability and let us say impulsive decisions made in a moment of depressive weakness. So yeah, I would not recommend doing that. ADHD meds are
Considering,
great though, if you can get
I mean,
your hands on them.
yeah, I was gonna say, considering I don't have access to ADHD meds, I don't think I have to worry about it particularly soon.
I will say there should be a cheap online service that will just give you a diagnosis as long as you pay them enough money. And by enough money, I mean like $200 Canadian.
I wish I had 200 bucks Canadian to spare.
Fuck.
Yeah, that seems like the sort of thing that it might be worth taking out a personal loan for to a certain extent. Because like, once you've got your foot in the door of like having the diagnosis and the medication, it makes things a lot easier for any subsequent steps you might want to take.
Yep.
It's one of those things that is perhaps even worth going into a certain amount of debt for. I certainly have. I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. Like
You're putting your money where your mouth is. That's
yeah.
admirable.
I mean, say debt. I say I have like it's in the past, but I'm still in debt for a number of reasons. So, thankfully, in Canada, student loans are very low interest, and by low interest, I'm talking like less than 0.5%.
Whoever invented the idea of interest on loans is a fucking monster.
It's a good question. Who? Oh God, Jack. I think it was. I think it was the Catholics.
The Catholic Church doing an atrocity? Say it ain't so.
Yeah, that never happened before. Why would it happen now?
Nope. Nope.
As we know from the hit Oscar bait film The Conclave, the Catholic Church is a place where...
In fairness, we can't blame the Catholics.
Oh,
Wait,
did
was
you
it
just
not the
look it up?
Catholics? I thought it was like the banking as a whole was invented by the... was backed by the
Credit
church
is
initially.
thought to have preceded the existence of coinage by several thousand years.
Really?
Okay, credit, yes, but like...
Interest. We're
The
talking
first
about
recorded
interest.
instance of credit is a collection of old Sumerian documents from 3000 BC that show systemic use of
Oh,
credit
damn it, Ian
to loan
Nasser.
both grain and metals. The rise of incept as a concept is unknown, though its use in Sumeria argued that it was well established as a concept by 3000 BC, if not earlier, with historians believing that the concept in its modern sense may have arisen from the lease of animal or seeds for productive purposes.
So what you're saying is not only was it crappy copper, he also made us pay interest on the crappy copper.
The first written evidence of compound interest dates roughly 2400 BC.
Fucking Ian the Seer.
Actually, fucking Catholics opposed interest, apparently.
Yeah, the Catholics were not big on banks and stuff. They believed money
Jesus
was evil.
did like whip a bunch of people.
It's why to a certain extent the Jews gained a reputation for being money people, because they were the
Yes,
ones
so
who
the
could
anti-Semitism is still the church's fault to a certain extent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Saint Thomas Aquinas, the
Aquinas,
leading
yes.
Aquinas, yeah.
Aquinas, whatever. The leading theologian of the Catholic Church argued that the charging of interest is wrong because it amounts to double charging for both the thing and the use of the thing.
Okay, that isn't a bit of an oversimplification of it. I'm not arguing for it, and I do enjoy some of Aquinas's work, even though, you know, he was a man living at the time he was living in. But that is a bit of an oversimplification. It's still bad. I almost feel like that's like making it seem even less bad than it actually is.
So the first council of
Nicaea.
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 Yeah, that was also the one where they decided that Jesus was God.
In 325, forbid clergy from engaging in usury, which was defined as lending on interest above 1% per month.
I believe
century ecumenical councils applied this regulation to the laity.
So there's also so if you remember Dante, one of the things that gets you sent to hell, and one of the things that whatchamacallit, the circles of hell, I believe it's the sixth circle, has stuff like heresy and usury as the sins that send you there.
It's really funny that he conceptualized those two as being like the same thing, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Catholic Church opposition to interest hardened in the era of the Scholastics, when even defending it was considered a heresy.
What isn't a heresy, honestly?
Yeah. Apparently, almost all scholars agree that the Quran explicitly forbids charging interest.
Yeah, though, as with the Catholic Church, they also decided to hold a council and say define a specific threshold as usury and ban that instead.
Mm-hmm.
The first attempt to control interest rates through manipulation of the money supply was made by the Banque de France in 1847.
The fucking French. You must feel particularly vindicated, Mel. Nope, fuck. Shit.
Compound interest when charged by lenders was once regarded as the worst kind of usury and was severely condemned by Roman law and the common laws of many other countries. And then the Florentine merchant Francesco Balducci Pegalotti provided a table of compound interest in his book Pratica della Mercatura of about 1340.
So what you're telling me is the French and the Italians and like it's the usual suspects essentially.
It's Western Europe.
Ow.
Western Europe doing something that has irrevocably damaged the entire structure of human society and life.
Mm-hmm.
Say it ain't so.
We got very quickly back to depressing topics, huh?
Geopolitics, everybody. Oh, this fucking thing.
Okay. Let's make it even more unhinged. Centaurs. Bestiality or not?
Centaurs are, as far as I'm aware, which one is it? Both sapient and sentient.
Yep.
So
No, you know what I mean is like you are still boning a horse.
Yes, getting a load of that horse cock, as it were.
I'm still inclined to go with no.
Yeah, as am I. I feel like with most of those like human monster hybrid type beings, or human animal hybrid type beings, like, you know, the Minotaur, the centaurs, the like lamias, all that, I feel like it doesn't really cross that line.
But I'm just speaking from a mechanical perspective.
Mechanically, probably.
Yeah, like just like the pure physical attraction to that probably is like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ow. I fucking hate these things.
I mean, bestiality is defined as sexual relations between a human being and an animal, which I guess depends whether you consider a centaur an animal.
I don't.
Well, it's complicated because it's not just about that, even though yes, that is what it's about on the surface, but like on a purely physical level, there is something to be said about the centaurs not quite counting as like human compatible sexuality. Does that make sense? Like, I know you guys know where I'm coming from with this.
Probably. Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, Fuzzy. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think I understand what you're saying.
Like, it's the scenario of, given that you are okay with it because you know it is a centaur, what if it's just a sapient horse on a on a non-anthropomorphic at all, right? Like, that's where I'm coming from. Is just like, I don't think
So
I couldn't do it.
I think potentially where well, what needs to be recognized is that bestiality is just the actual act of having sex. I think what you're more talking about is the zoophilia aspect of it.
I was unaware that there was that big a difference.
Well, bestiality is the actual act of sex. Zoophilia is the
I
The
see. Okay,
fetish.
actual
it's the
attraction.
right. Okay, yes. I then in that case, yes, I was more referring to that.
And that one gets, more into, I mean, weird stuff.
I've been gone for a few months. You start shaking
I
the rust
mean,
off, boys.
The fucking dude in Golden Kamuy,
Oh god, yeah.
who
Hold on.
fucked the bear.
I'm gonna step away for a
Is
sec.
Oh
he
wow,
just,
we scared off Jack.
You can keep talking, I'll be back.
is he just engaging in bestiality, or is it, full-on zoophilia?
In his case, I'm pretty sure it was definitely zoophilia. But okay, so if we are going, if we are dividing along those lines, then yes, there's a difference. And I guess what I'm more curious about is where it falls on, where centaurs fall on the zoophilia spectrum rather than the bestiality spectrum.
Good question.
I mean, just what's your general like gut instinct?
My gut instinct is that, regardless, a centaur, again, as long as they are sapient and sentient, should be considered a person, not an animal.
But we're not talking about that
Even
aspect of it, are we?
even if they have animal parts, they are still a person, and therefore, I feel like zoophilia is, talking about regular animals.
Well,
I mean, it really, it gets into the question of,
Alright, I'm back.
is the attraction for zoophiles, the fact that the object of attraction in question is an animal, or the physical attributes?
well, that's the thing, right? Is that
Which is tough for me to answer, given that I am, about as opposite as one can be.
well, yeah, but like that also gives you the ability to look in from the outside.
I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like it would be a case by case question.
Yeah, I don't think it
There
works
are
out as
there
a
are gonna be
blanket thing.
there are gonna be people who consider it, fulfilling zoophilia or zoophile urges because the centaur has the bottom half of a horse, and there are going to be some people who don't. It's the same way that I'm gonna stop there because I don't know how to say this delicately.
DM it to me.
But
DM it to me, and I'll see if I can phrase it more delicately.
no, it's people are attracted to what they're attracted to, and it is a case by case basis. There is not a hegemony on this.
Well, yeah, we don't condone kink shaming. We just occasionally
Engage in
find it
it
hilarious.
quite a bit, yes.
Because, like, there are objectively funnier fetishes than others, right?
Yeah,
I'm not alone in this.
you're correct. Or fetishes that are objectively just funnier.
What comes to my mind for you then? For a fetish that's just kind of funny.
Feet.
Huh? Bestiality remains legal in West Virginia.
Of course it's West Virginia.
I was gonna say, of course, it's America.
There's 50 states, right? I'm not forgetting one.
No, Canada isn't
50.
the 51st state yet, despite
Yeah.
what people want.
So yeah, West Virginia, the only state then. The other 49 is illegal. Most of them came from between 1999 and 2023.
That is way too fucking recent.
19
A
of
lot
them
of
have
laws
statutes
are, yes.
19 of them have statutes that date to the 19th century or even the colonial period.
This boss is annoying.
But yeah, okay. When you think of like objectively like fun, what do you find to be the funniest fetish?
I already said feet, so
Oh, okay. I think you just cut out for me then.
yeah.
Mel?
I might have talked over you. Clowns.
Yeah, clown fuckers are also
Okay.
objectively funny.
I do the Clussy is hilarious, but I think I understand where they're coming from.
You can understand while also thinking it's funny.
Yes.
You
Uh,
yearn for the Clussy Fuzzy?
No, but I feel that, like many people, I grew up on Kevin Conroy, Batman the Animated Series. Harley Quinn was a lot of people's awakening.
Harley Quinn only kind
Harley
of
Quinn
counts.
was a jester. I feel like there is a difference between jesters and clowns.
Yes, but she opened the door for a lot of people.
The same way that Disney's Robin Hood opened the door for a lot of
Yes, exactly. It's like, no one ever starts with the most, like, degenerate stuff.
No.
Right?
You
Like,
work your
Harley
way
Quinn
up.
is practically vanilla in comparison to some of the stuff people are into, but everyone starts somewhere.
I feel like Harley Quinn's more extreme aspects are not to do with her being a clown / jester.
What do you mean by this?
I mean, the crazy aspect, the yandere aspect, the situationship with Joker.
Yeah, no, that and the fact that okay,
But the fucking the probably more acidic body than is comfortable.
yeah, but that rarely comes up.
Because people are cowards.
They also forget. I think most writers forget most of the time too.
Writers, yeah, they don't tend to do research on their own comics, funny enough.
Which probably has nothing at all to do with the state of comic book writing beyond the editorial aspects.
Hmm.
Definitely not.
You don't need to tell me.
Oh, speak on that.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, a lot of comic book bullshit is it's very evidently apparent that editorial bullshit's involved, and or like publisher bullshit. Like,
At least Paul's dead for
thank
now.
God. They put him out of all of our misery. Hopefully it actually fucking sticks.
Oh, I have no particular hopes in that regard, but at the very least, it happened
Yeah,
once.
they're bringing him back. I'm almost certain of that. Even as somebody who doesn't particularly read comics, I
just
know that
don't
that's going to happen.
understand why so many people just hate Peter Parker.
I don't know either. I think it's just I think a good chunk of it is just stupid editorial bullshit. I blame Joe Quesada in no small part for it. He is definitely the most egregiously guilty of it out of all of the editors.
But like, it wasn't just him.
No, absolutely not. Which is the unfortunate part.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just like done with comic books for a while.
Understandable, honestly.
I wonder if it's an element of like, well, this is what works, right? Like, we
So
don't need to
a
try
lot of
that
them
hard
have
because
said
we
shit
don't.
like, he's more relatable if he's a miserable single dude. And no. That's just fucking stupid.
But the point is, at one point, that was what that was what was popular. That was what sold. So they are being lazy. They are absolutely being lazy by just going, well, this is what works. We
There
don't
we
need
go.
to change that. And it's a very much a case of at some point that's going to stop working. People are going to just stop buying fucking Spider-Man comic books just because they're Spider-Man comic books.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have
Okay,
fallen off on
so
Marvel for a
that
while.
I have a lot less optimism for, because I think we have just gotten like that's the problem, right? Is they're a bit too big to fail. Back to depressing topics from like funny fetishes.
The world is depressing, fuzzy.
Yeah, but like you'd think we'd be better at like ostriching by now.
Speak on that.
Let me look through. Let me look through my Twitter bookmarks to see if I've got something funnier.
Given that it's Twitter, my hopes are not high.
I mean, I've definitely got a topic for discussion. I don't know whether it's. I think it's going to be more depressing than funny, but I do want to discuss it.
I
mean, we're
fucking
already
lay it
committed
on
at
us
this point.
yeah.
How much have y'all heard about the live-action Avatar series?
I haven't touched
no.
it, but please, lay it on me.
They did the Ozai Zuko Agni Kai, I think, in season 2.
Oh no.
They had Zuko fight back.
Okay.
That defeats
They
the
also
point.
had Ozai tear up when he burned Zuko's face.
Oh no. Zuko fighting back is one thing, but no.
Yeah, nah.
They also had Iroh try and step in before the Agni Kai started, which again completely like against his character at the time, but whatever.
Kind of undermines a lot of things, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see an outside argument for it, maybe, but, like, it's still, like, yeah, no.
They also did Cave of Two Lovers. Do you want to know how they fucked that one up?
Oh no.
They had Katara and Sokka together.
Why?
Okay, that one I understand. You know how Hollywood is about incest.
You get 1 point, Fuzzy.
But like, it's yeah, okay.
What else did they fuck up?
I'm not sure anything else in particular, but they're definitely fucking shit up. And like so many, there's a not insubstantial amount of people who are going, oh well, it doesn't have to be 1-to-1. It's trying to tell it shouldn't be 1-to-1 with the animated series. Otherwise, what's the point? It's like, yeah, what is the point of fucking doing this? That is the point.
This is one of those. They are so close. They are so close to the correct answer.
Stop doing this shit for the sake of doing it if you're just gonna change it and make it worse.
Either like stick to something.
Like there are adaptations that change things and work because the things that they're changing is stuff that didn't exist at the time that the material being adapted was done, but then got added in later on.
So, for example, with One Piece, live action.
With One Piece, yeah.
I have my own thoughts on that. Yes,
That is a good example of a live action adaptation changing things because it is fucking being made 20 plus years after the original was made, and there have been a lot of lore stuff that has been introduced since.
Like Brooke, for example, popping up in the Laboon flashback.
Brooke popping up in Laboon, fucking Bartolomeo popping up in Logtown.
Hell yes, let's strengthen my nail.
Fucking just yeah, like them not doing Luffy versus Zoro in fucking whatchamacallit, Bounty Hunter Island.
Yeah.
Because Oda only did it to appease the the fucking Shonen Jump higher ups that wanted that little bit of conflict.
Yeah, before he could just afford to not do that.
Before he could tell them to fuck off. Yes.
Yes.
But that is absolutely a good example of a live action series, and it's not perfect. It's fucking not. But I think
it's still probably top 5.
Yeah, the
live action adaptation, and it's probably not number 5 either.
It's probably top 3 in my opinion. I would argue. Like.
Okay, what do you think? Can you think of anything off the top of your head that actually does top it?
So I don't have experience of these, but I know there are some actually pretty decent live action stuff, live action adaptations. Give me a second. Come on.
But yeah, I do want to watch live action One Piece eventually, though I do know someone who kind of likes it more than the manga, and I strongly disagree on that. Now give me arguments so I can refute that person in the future.
I mean, part of the issue is that it is very condensed.
Yeah.
Like the pacing, especially in season 1, the pacing is very fast. A lot faster than it really needs to be. Some of this is just due to the constraints of the adaptation, but some of them are like unnecessary changes being made to streamline things.
Oh, I'm actually curious about that. What do you feel is change that was unnecessary then.
I don't. As much as I dislike Krieg as an antagonist, removing him from Baratier kind of does away with a lot of the stuff that's kind of foundational.
I'm sorry, they just took Krieg out of Baratier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just removed Krieg entirely?
Yep.
Well, they showed
Mihawk kills
basically
him, yeah.
just murdering him.
I mean, that's closer to canon, but like, because like, I'm pretty sure we can agree, Dean and Krieg are just dead, right?
Krieg is canonically alive.
Yeah,
Oh
he got
God,
So is Dean.
damn
he
it!
got shot at one point.
They pop up during
like-
broadcast
Right.
piece.
But like, I just feel like there's no point to Krieg.
I mean, there is a point to Krieg. It's to show the hubris of
No. I mean, anymore. Like
Oh.
a lot of the other antagonists that they have kept alive, there's a point to keeping them alive and a point to them showing up later. But like Krieg's just a guy.
Yeah, I think
Right?
it was just kept in for shits and giggles.
Yeah, because like even like a lot of the East Blue guys have some very interesting implications later on. Even when they don't show up again, like Arlong, for example. But like Krieg, they're there.
Can't
I
argue with you
also
on that.
really wish someone would ask Oda again what the intelligence power rankings in the series look like, because I'm still so curious about if Ben Beckman remains number one.
I seriously doubt it. I'm pretty sure Vegapunk is number one.
Well, that depends on how Oda's deciding to define intelligence, because, like, if you go at it strictly book smarts, then yes, Vegapunk is very much number one, but,
So in terms of good live action anime adaptations, this is second hand, so because I've not fucking watched any of these, but potentially Speed Racer, Battle Angel Alita, and Ichi the Killer.
I have watched Alita. That one is pretty good.
I actually agree on both. I've not watched Alita the Killer, but I agree on both Speed Racer and Alita to a certain extent. I think, okay, so here's the thing. I would say that Alita is not so much a case of being good, but rather the source material is not great either.
If
And
it
as a
improves
result-
upon the source material, I think we can call it good.
Yeah,
I mean, how are we ranking this? Are we going, a good show overall or a good adaptation?
I think the idea is that it should. I think the idea is that it should be both. Because like I think One Piece is comfortably both, right?
Yeah.
It's a good adaptation, but it's also a very good show just for people, even if you're not familiar with One Piece necessarily.
Again, I've watched it with my mum, and she very much enjoys it.
That's what I plan to do as well. So like, yeah, I very much think One Piece is in it. I think that should be the standard we hold things to. Also, remember, it doesn't have to be anime. It can be any sort of like adaptation to, right? Like,
Are we also going to add Detective Pikachu into that?
Yeah, the game for that was actually kind of poorly received. Now, come to think of it.
yeah, but I think at that point we're splitting hairs by specifying specifically Detective Pikachu when in fact it's a
Was that
Pokemon
because
thing.
the game was bad, or was that because Pokemon fans suck?
Porque no los dos.
Yes, that the answer is often both. But no, okay. I remember there's a very commonly used example of a movie or like some form of adaptation of a book that's better than the original book. It is not coming to me, but there's one you guys know as well, right? There's one that often comes up in
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
Same.
Why
I'm
does
blanking.
that always happen? Where it's something that you always bring up in conversation, but then the moment you're like consciously trying to think about
It's
it.
on the tip of your fucking tongue, and yet somehow still won't come out.
But yes, that does happen occasionally. There are times when a book is just not as good a medium to convey the story that is being told. That is a thing that can happen. It has been known to happen.
Ready Player One.
So
Ready Player One.
Okay, again, that's one of those things where, relative to the source material, yes, but that doesn't make it an objectively good series.
So I've just done a
thing.
quick search, and this is just a list that's come up. So take this with a grain of salt. This is me just reading it out rather than agreeing. The Godfather.
Okay, no, I do agree. As someone who's like experienced kind of a bit of both, the book really is not that great.
The Shining.
Okay, The Shining is a mixed bag. Because while some elements of the movie are much better, it's basically an entirely different movie in some parts.
Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, I agree on that count. Yes, the movie did a lot more than the book. The book was not bad, but it was a bit dry and it wasn't really as intense as it sort of seemed to want to be.
127 Hours.
I think that's another one of those where it's just it's a different product. It's just like it's kind of like too different to tell in some ways.
Specifically because all adaptations omit a certain scene.
Listen, we don't have to like pick the low-hanging fruit here.
Cuckoo's Nest, I'd also agree.
Oh, on the subject, oh god, I had a thought. I thought of a TV show as well, but I completely there was a book.
This is one I don't think. I don't know. Jurassic Park.
No, the book was not great. It was like okay, but the movie was definitely better in terms of.
I think they're going for different things. Is the thing.
No, that's another case where they are very different, but
the book is very much going for a critique on capitalism that the movie does not approach in any real sense.
Listen, Michael Crichton is many things. Brave is not necessarily one of them.
Crichton.
Michael Crichton, yeah.
I cannot bring myself to care.
You corrected me on my fucking pronunciation of fucking theological bullshit that I don't know about. So I gotta get my shots in where I can.
Okay, that's fair. If you had brought up anything but the theologian, I would have had words to say. But
number 4, Blade Runner.
I think it's another one of those. Okay, so I'm noticing a pattern here. A lot of them were just going for a different thing than the books. And they're both like that doesn't necessarily make it better or worse on a linear level. Blade Runner is one of those where I think it was very much going for something that different than the book.
Ghost in the Shell is on this list.
I hope to God they're talking about the anime adaptations and not the Scarlet.
I believe they're talking about the anime adaptation. They're talking about the 1995 movie.
Okay, in that case, I can kind of agree. Actually, yeah. If they were talking about the Scarlett Johansson adaptation, this would lose any credibility it had.
Yeah, this would be a very different conversation.
And number 1, The Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, that is just unambiguously true, I think, because I've read the book, the novella rather. It's not bad. It is not as good as the movie.
Is that also the case with The Green Mile, which is another Stephen King prison one?
I think so, to a certain extent. Yeah.
I mean, Michael Clark Duncan is also a fantastic fucking actor, and he's
Yeah, no, I
opposite
think
to
the
Tom
acting,
Hanks,
I think
so-
in terms of story and narrative quality, no, but in terms of what the acting brought to the production beyond what
shit.
writing could, yes, I think The Green Mile counts in that regard. A lot of the Stephen King stuff, honestly.
I mean, we've mentioned several
Uh,
Stephen King ones already.
Very funnily, I found another list, and do you want to know what are the entries on this one?
What?
I feel like it's going to make me upset, so go on. I feel like
No,
that's...
it's Shrek.
Wait, what?
Shrek is based off of a children's book.
Yeah, a weird children's book.
All of them.
I
are
did
weird.
not know this!
Yeah.
I mean, I think it counts. I'm curious what else is on that list now. That if they open with that,
They didn't open with that, but because they've got Godfather again, Forrest Gump.
oh yes, okay, well, okay. First of all, Forrest Gump, in hindsight, not great as a film on its own, but definitely the book is worse, noticeably worse.
They've got Blade Runner again, Devil Wears Prada.
I think that's another case where I don't think that I actually I think I've heard of this one, and I think it's a case of that the book is just so different from the movie that they're practically they cannot be called the same thing.
Yeah.
There we go. First
Um,
try.
Daniel Craig's Casino Royale.
Okay, but that's just James Bond as a whole is very different from the books.
Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
You know, that's an interesting question. I'd actually be curious about like seeing what the differences are. Cause like I don't disbelieve it necessarily, but it does make me wonder what actually improved.
I suspect the addition of, music and dance performances in the movie probably helped.
I don't doubt that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like for
Um,
some people,
that's-
that's a downside.
That's certainly emphasized in the little paragraph that they've got. Then, already said Shrek. Mean Girls.
Wait, that was a.
I forgot Mean Girls was an adaptation. Yeah.
The film took inspiration from a 2002 self-help book called Queen Bees and Wannabes, aimed to help the parents of teenage girls better understand the social pressures their daughters had to contend with.
Interesting.
Which is probably
Uh,
also very deeply problematic in different ways, but you know.
Tina Fey came across the book when she was working at Saturday Night Live, was intrigued by the dynamics and scenarios that were recounted, and soon the plastics were born.
I was today years old when I learned that Mean Girls was a Tina Fey joint.
Yeah, you don't remember her being in the movie.
No.
I've not watched it, if I'm brutally honest.
I am
I watched
shocked
it.
that you have not watched it, Mill.
I watched
She's
it
not
at
a
an
teenage
early
girl.
age.
Never mind, but I
It's a
watched
teenage
it.
girl.
Again,
Listen, when I was growing up, I didn't really have many options. I watched whatever was on TV.
you don't need to justify watching Mean Girls. Mean Girls is a really good
No,
movie.
no. What I'm saying is that I had similar aversions and reservations that Mill did at that age. I think I just had less access to stuff as an alternative to a certain extent. So I
Look, I
not-
just don't think it's something that ever really appealed to me. I don't, I can't give a reason for not watching it because it's not something I've thought about. Just not something I've thought about watching. Next up, Jaws.
Yeah, the book for that is kind of.
yeah, no, a lot of that. Okay, but it's kind of depressing that so many cultural touchstones are adaptations.
Mm.
At this point, I'm wondering, Are there any like big cultural touchstone Hollywood productions that are not explicitly adaptations of something?
Star Wars.
However loose. Yes, I was gonna say, other than Star Wars and Star Trek, those are literally the only two I can think of.
Star Wars, Star Trek, trying to think what else, because, yeah. No, a lot of them are adaptations, funny enough.
The Mummy movies.
Right.
Ah, yes, the bisexual awakening films.
Arguably, adaptations on mythology, but
No.
I think
That
it's
if we
different.
like get that granular,
Yeah.
we're never gonna get anywhere. But yes, okay. Are we sure the Mummy wasn't based on an obscure book like written in 1468?
I will check right now, but I'm almost certain it wasn't.
Ooh, ominous.
It's a loose remake of the 1932 film of the same name.
Still does not count as an adaptation.
Yes.
The 1932 film was probably just racist.
I mean, it also wasn't an adaptation itself.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Is like
King Kong.
back in
King Kong
back
was
in
also
those
not an
days, it wasn't.
adaptation.
They didn't adapt things. They just made things racist, which is like is not good, but like.
Also, on a similar note, Fuzzy, King Kong.
I mean, movie monsters in general tend not to be adaptations.
Godzilla
Yes,
as well.
but then the
is
two biggest
original.
ones are Dracula and Frankenstein's monster, so you can't necessarily say that definitively. Ironically, I think Nosferatu might count.
Nosferatu is an. I
Because
believe
it
that's
wasn't an adaptation. It was like a spoof slash ripoff, but that does mean it was not explicitly adapted from anything else.
Nosferatu was produced by Prana Film and is an unofficial and unauthorized adaptation of Dracula.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
it
but
depends
you know
on
what I mean,
how
like-
you. Even with several details altered, Stoker's widow Florence sued over the adaptation's copyright violation.
Today I learned Stoker was not a lifelong bachelor who was buried together with his roommate of 56 years.
You know who also was. You know who was a lifelong bachelor, to my recollection, is Hans Christian Andersen.
Was he also
'cause
buried
nobody
together
could-
with his roommate of
Nope.
56 years?
Nobody could put up with him for more than 5 minutes from what I remember of stories about him.
Oh, yeah, that's also a possibility. No, because, like...
He's like
Those
the
people-
ultimate disaster bisexual, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering right.
Oh. Hell,
Who
speak on that.
whose lawn did he fucking cry on for a week?
I think it was Stoker's.
Wait. Hans Christian Andersen... Wasn't Hans Christian Andersen, like, from the 1600s?
No, 1805 to 1875.
Huh.
Yeah, he
I
was
thought-
contemporaneous with Bram Stoker, though Bram Stoker was a little bit younger. I think
I
Bram.
thought Hans Christian Andersen was,
Yeah.
like, ancient.
No, you're thinking of the Brothers Grimm.
I thought the Brothers Grimm were relatively recent. Have I been confusing the Brothers Grimm and the Hans Christian Andersen in the timeline my whole life?
That is very possible.
Huh.
Brothers Grimm, 1785 to 1863 and 1786 to 1859. So contemporaneous, actually,
That is
with Hans
hilarious.
Christian Andersen.
But, like, less contemporaneous, to a certain extent.
I mean, they were alive at the same time for a period.
Yeah, but, like, this is where we bring up the Abraham Lincoln Samurai Telegram. Was it Abraham Lincoln, or was it someone even more unhinged?
No, Abraham
could've-
Lincoln
I mean,
works.
it's cowboy, samurai, fucking Coca-Cola, pirate, and something else. I think they're the big four that you can like make a fucking D&D campaign out of
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
1890s.
Not even 1890s, just like 1800, like mid 1800s, mid to late 1800s. Like a vampire hunter, I'm pretty sure you could do Van Helsing in there.
Van Helsing, I think might be it. Yeah.
In hindsight, the fact that human history was relatively static for so long and has only recently gone
No,
human society.
it was. Sorry, I found it. It was Charles Dickens's lawn that fucking Hans Christian Andersen
Oh, that's so
cried
funny.
on.
Yeah.
Watching a bad review of his most recent book. Charles Dickens hated him. In the best way possible.
It's very funny.
How much of a dick was Charles Dickens?
Probably a bit.
But like, I mean, that was just the style at the time. But like, relative to his peers, because some of them were awful, even relative to their peers.
True.
While Anderson, who's notoriously difficult to be around, remembers the visit to Dickens fondly. For the Dickens family, it was both peculiar and exhausting. Dickens left a note on the mirror in the guest room. Hans Andersen has slept in this room for 5 weeks, which seemed to the family ages. Ages in capitals.
I love author drama. Oh, speaking of author drama, you know the whole thing with that whole trip where Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Everyone hated rooming with Lord Byron. Lord Byron.
Everyone
in general hated Lord Byron.
No one. The only
Wasn't
reason
just the
people
people
showed
on
up
that
to Lord
trip.
Byron's parties was because
He had the drugs and stuff, yes.
Yeah.
because like the party favors were good. No one showed up to Lord Byron's parties for Lord Byron.
No.
Another interesting factoid about Hans Christian Andersen. He was apparently an anxious traveler. He was scared of dying in a hotel fire, so he always packed a long rope in his luggage as a precaution. He was also apparently so scared of being accidentally buried alive that he would sometimes place a note on his bedside table with the words, "I'm not really dead."
Oh my god.
Which I assume foiled multiple schemes of Dickens to bury him alive to get rid of him.
So, okay, two things. First of all, guys, being neurodivergent is a completely new thing made up in the modern world.
I mean, yeah.
There's definitely no evidence of extremely neurodivergent people throughout history in some of the most famous people imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
No, the fact that Immanuel Kant was so specific that people would set their watches to him, up to his morning walks, definitely was not a sign of any sort of neurodivergence. But also, I feel like the rope thing is just like good safety practice. Like, not necessarily like it's one of those things where, yeah, you are gonna hope you never need the rope, but like the one time you need the rope is gonna like counterbalance every time you didn't. Especially if you don't have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's one you like if not for the fact that we live in a much more unsafe world, I would kind of just say maybe you should just take like 50 feet of rope with you everywhere you go.
Get over here, little fucker.
Unfortunately, when it's especially bad to do that if you're an author, because we're probably already on all
Suicide
sorts
watch.
of lists.
Upon arrival at the Dickens' home in Kent, Hans Christian Andersen announced that it was Danish tradition for male guests to be shaved by the male children of the host's household. Dickens compromised by hiring a barber.
Okay, that has to be just him trolling.
I don't know.
Well, on the one hand, he is the type, but on the other hand, the Danish.
There was another tantrum by Anderson upon realizing that Queen Victoria was attending a performance of Dickens's play The Frozen Deep, at which Anderson was also in attendance, and the Queen was not paying any attention to him personally.
Oh, he's such a fucking drama queen.
To be fair,
I love him.
Vicky probably wasn't paying a lot of attention to the play either, depending on what time of her life it was in.
1857.
So was this before or after her boo died?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
I mean, they would both have an effect. Just both times would be relevant,
No,
just in different
he was
ways.
still alive. He was
Okay.
still alive. 4 years before.
That was Prince Albert, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Prince Albert.
Not in a can.
Her first cousin.
And we're not referring to the piercing.
Hmm.
No one's gonna like follow up on the piercing thing. Or you
Nope,
just
nope.
leaving me hanging with a
I
very
have no idea what
awkward
you're
topic
talking about, Fuzzy.
Genuinely, or
No.
okay?
While we're on history facts, the story of the surgeon who killed 3 people in one surgery is unfortunately probably apocryphal.
Yeah. Which is a damn shame.
Why we can't have nice things? SMH my head.
Because the surgeon in question, Robert Liston, was apparently enough of a dick that if it was true, there would actually be proper evidence of it, because people would have not let him forget it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, if you make enemies like that guy did, yeah.
Unfortunately, seems to be a creation of a 1980s author.
Of course.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, the 80s sucked for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. Fucking Reagan and Thatcher, primarily.
What are some other apocryphal stories that you kind of wish were true?
Ow.
That Jack the Ripper was an ape.
I didn't get the chance to bring that up in my forensic profiling class. I wish I had.
I mean, look, Jack the Ripper is one of those things where we're never going to find out who actually did it at this point. So you might as well just fucking pick your favorite suspect and go from there.
Ow.
I choose to believe that Jack the Ripper was an ape as a result.
It is the funniest thing to believe, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Fuck.
See, I probably did have one of these things in mind, but I just can't. It's another time when it's just not coming to me.
Same.
Returning to Liston for just a quick second, he was actually a decent enough dude to punch a medical colleague who may have been, certainly was allowing necrophilia.
Ugh, yuck.
I'm not sure if the guy himself actually engaged in it. I mean, the guy in question was a shady character anyway, because I mean, this was the time where doctors did a lot of shady stuff to get corpses, put it that way, to dissect and learn from.
I mean, the sad reality is that there's still the corpse trade is not any less shady now. It's just legalized, but it's still horrifically unethical in a lot of
Probably
ways.
yes, but this particular doctor, Dr. Robert Knox, was paying people who. It's unknown whether Knox actually knew it or not, but the people he was paying were basically just going out and murdering people to get the corpses.
Oh, by the way, if you need a human skeleton, I know a guy.
I'll keep it in mind.
You have to, like,
We're also at the 2-hour mark at this point, so,
Oh, great
Alright.
place to end. Yeah,
Yeah.
on potentially...
With necrophilia.
Well, no, me potentially incriminating myself, even though... Listen, the purchasing is legal. Just don't ask the supplier too many questions.
yep, of course. On that note, thank you, everybody, for joining us. In terms of future stuff, Saturday we are going to be doing more of the anime villains tier list, so look forward to that. But Mill, take it away.
In terms of future stuff, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, please do give us a follow and subscribe here on Twitch and all that YouTube stuff.
Like, subscribe, comment down below, and please press that bell icon, yo.
And otherwise, hopefully, we'll see you on Saturday to discuss some anime villains. Good night.
Later.
Bye bye.